morning. It's a nice, cold, blue sky day. Welcome to Foundational Yoga. Good morning. How are you? Hi, Mickey, Karen, Fran. Good morning to you. It's cold out there. I think March was warmer than April so far. Okay, let's start. It's 7 a.m., at least on the eastern seaboard of the United States. Deb, I think you're 6 or 7 hours ahead of us, way over across the pond in England there. So thank you for joining us. So let's begin by closing our eyes, and we'll get into a little practice going inside, settling in, getting yourself comfortable. Begin to breathe through your nose a little more deeply. Slow the breath down. And immediately go right to your heart center. Focus in on that area. That we become more wise, more aware and conscious. That we are more whole and feel less lack. That mysteries be revealed to us, doors open in ways that we least expect. That we be shown our limitations only so we can grow into a great mind, into a bigger heart, and a stronger passion in life. that our love for life be greater than any fear, that our love for the unknown be stronger than the known, that our passion for adventure guide us from whence we came on the journey back to oneness. Rest peacefully in those words. As you continue to breathe your slow, smooth, deep breath, lift your chest up. Take your shoulders back a little bit. Reach down through the sits bones, reach up through the crown, and lengthen everything in between, that you may feel more expansive inside and out. And then you allow your head to come forward as you take your chin to your chest. And begin your half circles, rolling your neck, one shoulder to the other. Take it right into a full circle. And reverse that. Bring your head back up onto your shoulders. Take your head to one side, move it forward and back. Go to the other side, do the same thing. Bring your head back onto your shoulders and roll your shoulders back. And now circle your elbows. You know the elbows don't circle. It's an illusion. It's really our shoulders, but we're focusing in on the elbows, and that brings energy to that area. And then just move them the way they actually move. And then your wrists. And reverse that. Now your fingers. So the hands are open. You're going to close pinky, ring, second, first, thumb, both hands. You're going to open pinky, ring, middle, first, thumb. Close, open. Wrists are not moving like this. It's just isolating the fingers at this point. Relax your forearms so you can keep doing this. Breathe through your nose, that smooth, deep, flowing, soft breath. You can go fast if you want. You can go really slow. And then shake it out. Now circle from your hips. And reverse that. And start to move from side to side. Start to get your opposite arm involved, lifting it up, reaching it over. Maintain that smooth, deep breath. Reach over further. And then come back to center. Come into a forward, your legs are still crossed, come into a forward bend here. If this is too much on your knees, you can take your legs like this, take your legs out of play, stretch that lower back. Either way, you're stretching your lower back. And then begin to move or sway from side to side. Keeping your opposite glute down. You're trying to stretch the lower side back of the torso. Just keep moving here. And then come on back up. Extend your legs, shake them out. Swing them around, come on into table pose. Feel free to put a blanket underneath your knees and do some spinal waves. Inhale as you go into cow pose, back bending, extension. Exhale as you're moving into your cat, your flexion, rounding. As you continue to do this, as you go into your cow, slide forward. As you go into your cat, slide back. Inhaling into cow, moving forward. Exhaling, move into cat, moving back. And then come back to neutral. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do some shoulder blade movement. Some shoulder push-ups. The arms stay perfectly straight. You're going to bring the shoulder blades together. And so you're dropping your chest down to the floor. You're going to take your shoulder blades apart by moving your chest away from the floor. So just come in and out. Again, the arms do not bend. If you're not used to this, you're going to bend your elbows. Keep your elbows straight. Continue to open up the chest and the back line of the body. As you move your shoulder blades apart. Now, from here, we're going to move just the pelvis region and the lower back. So we were just doing this with the upper torso, upper thoracic. Now we're going to move just the lumbar and the pelvis. So we're rounding and we're, as we go into a cat type thing, but again, the thoracic spine is not moving. And then we're back bending as in cow. Now, come into cat pose, full body cat pose. Head hangs, you're looking back at your hips. You're rounding, arching the spine up towards the ceiling. You're breathing here. And then come back to neutral. Extend your left arm forward and your right leg back. And then exhale both underneath, elbow and knee. Inhale, open it up, look forward. Exhale, underneath, look back. Inhaling open. Exhaling, close. Get that leg up higher. Maintain your stability. So you're rock solid here. Not wavering, but staying sturdy and strong. Hold it out and set it down. Go right to the other side. Right arm, left leg. Exhale it underneath. Inhale, open it up. Continue moving with your breath. Extension as you reach, flexion as you draw in. Hold it out, set it down. Come into your extended table. Start to move backwards and forward. Exhaling as you move back. Inhaling as you move forward. As soon as your breath changes from an inhale to an exhale, you start moving back. And from an exhale to an inhale, you start moving forward. So the breath determines when you move forward. If you want to slow it down, you breathe slower. Now, come back into your neutral table. Take your left leg out to the left. Extend the leg. Bend it again. Extend it. And bend. And once again, extend and bend, and then reach it back behind you. Bringing it underneath. It's hovering. It's hovering. You're drawing it in towards your nose. Take it out back behind you, out to the side with a bent knee, and set it down. Other leg goes out to the side, out to your right. Extend the leg. Then bend. And extend it. And bend it. One more time. Extend. And bend. And then send it back. Hold it out there. Draw it in underneath. It's hovering. It's actually pulling in towards your nose. Take it out to the side and set it down. Move your hips from side to side. Now curl your toes underneath you and hover your knees. And if you want to make this more challenging, while you hover your knees, you can slide back and forward, but the knees are still hovering that 1 or 2 inches above the mat. Up to you. If you want to move, or move greatly as far as you can. And then set it down, and then come into a child's pose. This is what we're going to do from child's pose. Come all the way up, kneel up. Lift those hips up. Take the arms up overhead, look up. You're going to come all the way back down into your full child's pose on the exhale. You're going to inhale, come all the way up. Look up. Exhaling, come all the way down. Do a few more of these. These are not difficult. Just movement, some balance. Last one, bring it up, take it up. Hands in steeple. Just looking up, lift up through the chest. Back bend a little bit more. Reach the arms back a little bit. And then sit down on your heels. If anyone needs to stretch out the low back, you can come forward into a child's pose. Otherwise, just stay here. Move from side to side. And then kneel up again and step your right foot forward. And then straighten that leg. If you have blocks, you can put them on either side near your ankle. Otherwise, you're just going to come into a forward bend. You can put your fingertips down and start to stretch out the back of that left leg. I may have to step your right foot forward, it's your left foot. Now, take your toes and point them up towards the ceiling. And then point them forward, stretching out the top of your foot. Take the toes and point them up. And then raise up. See if you can raise up with a straight leg and step it back. Take the other leg forward. Straighten it out. Slide it forward, straighten it out. Come into your forward bend. When you come into your forward bend, you're back bending into this forward fold. And you're working a stretch on this side. Hamstring is tight. This is our first hamstring stretch. Start to move that foot, pointing it up towards the ceiling. And after a breath or two, point it forward. And move between the two. Now start to raise up and step it back. Turn sideways on your mat so that you can take, and if you have two blankets, put a blanket underneath each knee. I only have one blanket right here. I can get another one since I'm in a room that has a lot of them, but I'm not going to. And you're going to take your knees wide. You're going to come into frog. Come down onto your forearms. And once you're here, this is where it starts. You start to move forward and back. And you're gonna feel this. You're gonna be tight. And just move slowly. Your feet can be close to each other, or they can be touching, or they can be going straight back behind your knees so that your shins are parallel to each other. That's usually a little more challenging. Just move forward and back. Now find that spot where you are really tight, and you're going to gently pulse, moving forward and back at a faster pace. That's why we call it pulsing, but not deep, not far. You got to work this stretch and this movement slowly. Now, come on back up onto your hands. Bring the knees in. Come into your neutral table and circle your hips. You're probably going to feel this somewhere in the hip area, in the pelvis. Just move accordingly so you can open up. If you need to extend your table, do that. Change directions. Move your hips in any direction you need. And then come on up onto your feet. So from here, standing sideways on your mat, once again, take your feet wide. Come into lower half of the body is goddess. So you turn your feet out, your knees bend, you're pushing your knees back. So you're trying to create some opening here. And then I want you to just start to move side to side. And any which way you want. You can rest your hands onto the thighs. If you want to lean forward even more to do this, you can. You can stay upright. As I move into this, I naturally need to take my feet farther apart so I can get deeper. But you will do that as you can. Feel your way into this. Working deeper. So now come up and down. We're doing squats, but don't think of them as squats, and then we won't be doing them. Of course they are squats, and I'm just kidding. All right, turn your feet straight ahead. See if you can bring your heels a little wider. You're straightening out the legs. Take your hands to your hips. Come into a forward bend. Nice, long, integrous spine. You're not rounding. You're just coming down deeper and deeper slowly. Releasing your hands down. Supporting yourself. If you need blocks under your hands, grab your blocks. Take your hands back onto your hips. Bring your torso parallel to the floor. Come all the way back up. Turn your feet out again. Toes turn out. Come into your goddess pose. So arms get involved. Now, move your wrists and hands back. Let your elbows stay somewhat forward. And this takes the lower shoulder blades and brings them back towards or into the body. Deepen your pose. Straighten everything out. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, reach. And just continue this movement. Go to whatever depth you can go to. And straighten them out. Feet forward and together. I don't know if you all have a wall. So, if you have a wall, go to the wall. You're going to have your feet far away from it. You're going to bend your knees. Okay? You're going to take your arms to the wall, back of the head to the wall. If you don't have a wall, you can come into a squat. You're going to take your elbows back, and your wrists back, so that the wrists are above the elbows. And what you're going to do, whether you're against the wall or not, now if you, in order to put your head to the wall, have to do this, don't put your head to the wall. The head should be going back like this. You feel like you're getting a double and triple chin when you do that. That's all right. And then you're going to slide your arms up and slide them back down. Now as you do this, keep going. As you do this, the wrists are going to want to leave the wall, and maybe even your elbows are going to want to leave the wall. You're trying to contract the muscles in the back body, raise them up, try to keep them going back, raise them up as high as you can, and then you bring them back down. This is not easy. This is a real challenge for most. Now, take a break. We're going to do a round 2. The next cue I'm going to give you for round 2 is, if you're against the wall, take your lower back to the wall. If you're not against the wall, and you're like this, or you're like goddess type feet, pull your pubic bone up, slide your tailbone down, so you flatten your lower back. If you're against the wall, you're doing the same thing. All I need to cue you on is put your lower back to the wall. You're flattening your lower back, okay, by tucking your tailbone. So no matter what position you're in, on the wall or not, lower back is to the wall, and start to do the arm things. See if you can do 5. If you can do 10, do 10. Bend your knees even more if you're against the wall. You won't even feel the legs because the arms and shoulders and back muscles are working so much. Okay. Step away from the wall if you're there. I'm gathering most of you don't have a wall that you can readily access in the room you're in. So, for next time, move all your furniture and your pictures. Alright, so from your Tadasana, come on up off of your heels and then lower down. And do it again. Lift up, lower down. A few more times. Just play with your balance. As you lift the heels and then you come down, lift the balls of the feet, lift the heels, balls of the feet, so you're rocking forward and back. Then come up and stay up. Hover. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Even if you have to bend your knees. Come up higher. And lower down. Now shift your weight to your right foot and pick up your left. Come into your tree pose, whether it's low or it's high, but it's not on that knee. Now lift your sternum. If you need your hands, your arms out to the sides a little bit for balance, do that. Otherwise, if your balance is good, bring your hands to the heart. And if you want to go farther, you can extend the arms up overhead. Bring the arms back so that you're contracting muscles in the shoulders, or rather in the shoulder blade area, back body. Now bring your knee forward. And set it down. Shift to the left foot. Come into tree, picking up the right foot. Bring your hands where you are comfortable. Breathe, lift your sternum. Move your hips back. Bring that knee forward. Set it down. Take your feet shoulder width apart. Try to keep your feet towards each other. Or not towards each other, in a straight line. And come into your Malasana. Come all the way down. Bring the arms to the insides. Bring the hands together. And then lift up through the chest, through the sternum. And try to lengthen your spine here. Now engage Mula Bandha. Engage your perineum muscles. Play with your Bakasana for those of you who do this. And again, you do not have to lift your feet up, but you can. You can come in and out of this pose. And then come on back onto your feet, lift your torso, take your hands up off the floor, you can keep your heels lifted, and just feel all the quivering going on in the ankles. It radiates throughout the rest of the body. See if you can soften that a little bit. Find your balance. Lift your torso more vertical. And then stand up. Take your legs wide. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Line your left heel with the instep of the right foot. Float the arms. Bend the left knee. So you're on Warrior Two. You're looking above and beyond your left fingertips. Lift your sternum. Bring your right hip back. Actively engage your right abdominal muscles, your obliques. And then come into Parshvottanasana. And then play with your drishti, your focal point. Move your head so that you are going anywhere in between, looking at your foot, your left foot, all the way up to your right hand. And see how that is with your balance. And come on back up. Straighten out that leg. Take your hands to your hips. Switch your feet. Float your arms. Bend your right knee. Look above and beyond the right fingertips. Lift your sternum again. Move your left hip back. Come into your Parshvottanasana, your side angle. And do the same thing. You're slowly moving your head so that you're looking down, you're looking forward, you're looking up. All degrees. Pretty much 180 degrees, perhaps. Certainly with your eyes, if not with your neck. How is your breath? Come on back up to Warrior Two. Hands to the hips, turn that right foot forward. Turn your left foot out again. Keep your hands on your hips. Take a look at your feet alignment. Bring that right hip back because it wants to go forward. Bring it back so that you are open with the hips and the hips. So now you're going to start to lean to the left with the torso, but take your hips and move them towards the right. Keep your hands on your hips and come into your triangle with your hands on your hips. Lift your sternum. Move your ears back, so not lifting your chin, but move your ears back. Take your right hand on your ribs as though it's someone behind you pulling your ribs back to move your right ribs and your right shoulder back. Go deeper if you can. Keep moving your right hip back. Lift your sternum. Come on back up. Take that left foot, turn it forward. Take the right, turn it out. Same thing, other side. Take your left hand, kind of pull the left hip back. Now when you did that, your right knee may have pivoted, turned a little bit, kind of angled in. As you pull that left hip back, you outer spiral that right leg. So you tuck the right glute underneath. Start to lean to your right. Let your hips go to the left and up as you continue moving and deepening, keeping the hands on the hips. Move that left hip back, tuck the right glute under, take your hand to the left ribs, open it up even more. Pull your ears back. Come on back up. Turn that right foot in. Bring your feet together. How y'all doing? Come on down, all the way down. If you can, don't use your hands on your body or on the floor till you get to the very end. Use your hands so you're not bouncing down your coccyx bone. You're going to take your right leg and tuck it in underneath you so that the right quad, the right thigh, is parallel with the right side of your mat. Take your other leg, your left foot crosses over. Now if you're like this, if this is too much, you're going to take that bottom right leg and you're going to reach it forward. Okay? Otherwise, you're here, clasp your hands, pull that knee in towards your right shoulder. And let your left sits bone, your left glute, descend into the earth even more. Keep pulling that knee towards your right shoulder. Now lift up, sit up tall, lift the sternum. When I am doing my own practice, I have my eyes closed most of the time. That helps me to stay grounded, stay inside, and go a little deeper. Now take your right arm and wrap it around that knee, grab the right wrist, pull in that knee towards your right shoulder even more so that you feel more of a stretch in your lateral glute area, your left hip area. And then take your left arm, reach it back behind you, and twist. Now the twist is not just with the cervical spine or the neck. Matter of fact, that's the last thing that moves. Your twist is your thoracic spine. Your lumbar spine, which is your lower spine, is not designed to twist much. It's your thoracic that you're trying to twist. Then you start to move your neck and head. Now while you are here, see if you can roll forward on your sits bones. And it'll bring you up even higher. The crown of the head will lift up towards the ceiling. And release. Stay there with your legs. Just going to go to the other side. Short, not as intense. And then back to the front. Unwind. If you want, you can shake them out, or you can come right into it. Same thing, other side. If you had your right leg straight last time, this time you'll straighten out that lower left leg. Clasp your hands, bring that knee in towards your left shoulder this time. And as you do that, you're pulling yourself forward. The lower back is moving forward so you get more of a stretch. Breathe here, sit up taller, lift that sternum. Now take your left arm, wrap it Grab the left wrist, continue to pull that knee towards your left shoulder. Feel the stretch in the right glute. And then take your right arm and reach it back. Set it down right behind the spine if you can go that far. And then start to initiate your twist. Remember, the head turns last. And then gently release. And come to the other side. Sit up tall. Open it up. And then release back to center. Take your legs forward and move them around. Now, from here, take your legs wide. Hands behind you. And start to move your pelvis forward and back with the assistance of your hands just being grounded on the mat behind you. And then start to circle your pelvis. Now your shoulders are not doing the moving, are not initiating, they're not going like this. You're trying to stabilize the shoulders. There's going to be some movement. Go in the other direction. And then start to come forward. You come forward, lift up. Lift up through the sternum. If you're flexible, it's about time you're going to bring your hands forward. For those of you who are tight, keep your hands back behind you. Still maintain that openness in the spine. You're not deep enough yet to start rounding. You're still open. And you can always still move your hips to help loosen up all those, especially in the pelvis area, inner legs. You'll be feeling this. So start to move. Come forward, come back, and you're going to undulate. So it's like cow going down and cat coming back up. Now come up all the way, straight up. Turn to your right. Hand on each side of the leg. And you're going to do the same thing, but to a lesser degree. You're going to start to move towards that right leg. The toes on both feet are straight up at 12 o'clock. Now as you continue to do this, take your left hand take it to your left thigh, and you're going to now be facing forward rather than facing towards the leg, but you're still going to be moving towards that right leg. As you move towards the right leg with your torso, you're trying to keep this left hip and left glute down. If you're tight in the lower side back or lower side torso, it's going to lift that glute right up. And your job is to like press it down, push it down. Come on back up to center. Little movement of the hips. Turn towards the left leg and start to move towards it. Now remember, you spent some time on the other leg and you got loose. It took you a while to get loose, so take your time here. It's a new leg. It's not as limbered up yet. Now take your right hand to the right thigh. Open up the chest towards the front. Press that right hand down into the thigh. And as you lean towards that left leg, keep that right hip down. Now come forward, just slide forward and start to move from side to side, from leg to leg. And then come back up. Take your hands underneath your knees and pull your knees up and towards each other. And then take your hands back behind you and windshield wiper your knees. And then lay down on your backs. Bring your knees in. Hug them in. Take your arms out to the sides. Lower your knees to the right. Gaze to the left. Right hand on the outside of the left knee. Try to bring the knees together. Just relax and release into this pose. Come on back to center and move your knees to the other side. To the left, left hand on the outer right knee. Both knees together, right down to the floor. The right shoulder might be floating. That's okay. Bring your knees back into your chest as you roll onto your back. Hug your knees in, gently roll from side to side, giving yourself a massage. And then extend open and into your Shavasana. relax entirely. Now soften all the muscles in your forehead. Soften your cheeks, your chin, your jaw. Relax your tongue. Moving down the neck, become aware of your shoulders and let your shoulders release down into the mat. Become aware of your arms. Allow them to become heavier and heavier and heavier. Feel the weight of your arms on the floor. Move your awareness all the way to the fingers and the fingertips and become aware of the pulsing or the tingling that you may feel. Move back up your arms and bring your full attention to your heart area. And imagine you can breathe in and out of the heart. That smooth, deep, flowing, slow breath. And as you breathe in, all of that oxygen, all of that energy is going throughout the entire body, nourishing it. And as you breathe out and you exhale, it's all leaving that same uplifted, positive energy. And that exhale, that carbon dioxide is feeding the flowers, feeding the plants, feeding the trees. So everything has a purpose. You inhale for yourself, you exhale for others. Staying at the heart. Feeling some of the emotions associated with that center. Compassion, appreciation, joy, bliss, care, gratitude, peace. And then send some peace to someone else, right from your heart center, right from your heart. Even if you think this is not possible, do it anyway. Keep beaming outwardly as though there's a laser beam coming from your heart, spreading wider and wider, going out to people that you know and people you do not know. Now thank yourself. Give thanks. feel gratitude for the opportunity you just gave yourself to do what you just did. And become aware that you are in your Shavasana. That your physical body is laying on the mat. That you are right there with it. Begin to move your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bend your elbows. Draw one knee in and then the other. And roll to your right side. Come to a comfortable fetal position. And then come on up to a seated pose. Bringing your hands to the heart. You can either bring your hands in Anjali Mudra or take your palms to your heart center. Becoming wiser, more aware and conscious, more whole and feeling less lack. The more you practice going inside, withdrawing from your senses, experiencing a world internally that's greater than the world out there, finding your peace and your calm. The more whole you become, the more wise, the more aware, the more conscious. Thank you for your practice and for your time. Namaste. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy.